Jurassic World Dominion has a great premise. Dinosaurs are now loose on Earth and the planet has become a Jurassic World. That plus the reunion of the original cast sets up a brilliant opportunity for the final installment in the franchise. But somehow this isn't the case and the movie focuses on less interesting, convoluted plotlines and ends up ruining the fantastic premise. Hello and welcome to Cinemaze, and there will be spoilers for Jurassic World Dominion. The previous film, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, was pretty messy, and the whole film felt like it existed to set up the idea of dinosaurs in the real world. And despite the problems that film had, it did set up a fantastic opportunity for a sequel. The premise is pretty simple. Dinosaurs in the real world. That's fun, it's new, it's exciting, and it could even ask some deeper questions like the original Jurassic Park managed to do. Do we have the right to let dinosaurs live in our world? Taking this premise, plus the addition of the original cast returning and meeting the new cast, feels like it should be an easy win. But they mess it up. The biggest problem with this film is that it's overstuffed and doesn't focus on the core concept. Despite being called Dominion, despite spending a whole movie setting up dinosaurs getting loose in the real world, and despite releasing multiple short films with dinosaurs in the real world as a teaser for this movie is not about dinosaurs in the real world. It's actually about locusts. Yes, you heard me right, this dinosaur movie is about locusts, and also evil businesses and clones. This fantastic premise of dinosaurs in the real world is completely put on the backbenches. It's only relevant for about the first 20 minutes of the film. It barely has any effect on the plot. Even the dinosaurs our main characters encounter in the film are not the dinosaurs loose in the world. Most of the time when they get chased by a dinosaur, it's one that's been trained by a person or exists in a man-made reserve. They don't ever get attacked by the wild dinosaurs roaming the earth. So what's the point in having wild dinosaurs roaming the earth? It means nothing. We spend so much of this film in another dinosaur park. The back half of this film takes place in labs and on a dinosaur reserve, essentially another Jurassic Park. It's frustrating because we've seen parks before. We haven't really seen dinosaurs in the wild, and they waste the chance. And rather than focus on dinosaurs, this movie focuses on corporate espionage, locusts, and human cloning with magic blood. A lot of people didn't like the clone twist in Fallen Kingdom. I actually didn't mind it. If dinosaurs can be cloned, the next logical step is humans. And I like the backstory of a father so distraught over the loss of his child, he clones them. But rather than realise people didn't like this plotline last time and not focus on it, this film doubles down on it. The cloning is now essential to the plot, with this clone girl being hidden from the world, having another twist that her mum didn't actually die in a car accident, but of a rare blood disease, and that the clone girl now has magic blood. This is bizarre. It makes the clone plot make way less sense and takes the emotional reason for cloning away from the clone character. And is it just me, or is it weird that Campbell Scott is now in 2 films where he wants to cure rare diseases with magic blood DNA? Now, the main plot of the film is that there's genetically engineered locusts ruining crops. It's such a weird place to take this movie. How they resolve the locust issue makes no sense, and it doesn't belong in this movie. And why choose locusts? Why not choose some type of dinosaur and tie it into the dinosaur movie, which has dinosaurs in the real world? It's so weird. The pacing here is also not good. The first 20-ish minutes focus on dinosaurs in the real world. Then the movie slows way down as it introduces the characters and sets up the locust plotline. We then see the characters breaking into a lab or meeting the CIA in nonsensical scenes that slows the plot down even more. There's a big chunk of this movie with no dinosaurs or action, and it's just boring and makes no sense. And the other issue here is that the movie doesn't know what to do with its characters. They know they want the original cast to meet the new cast, but they don't care about how we get there. Why are we watching Ellie Sattler, a paleobotanist, and Alan Grant, renowned paleontologist, break into a lab to steal a sample from a giant locust? It makes no sense to involve these characters other than the fact the writers wanted these guys in the film. Why did they find it hard to think of a reason in a dinosaur movie to include a dinosaur expert in a world where dinosaurs exist? I don't know about you, but I go to a Jurassic Park film to watch a dinosaur expert sneak around a lab and find a locust. It's so bizarre. The characters have no place being here, and no one except Henry Wu really has any kind of arc. They all just go from one place to another to find a thing, and whether that thing is a clone girl or a raptor or a locust, that's pretty much how this movie goes down. Things in this movie also make no sense. At the end of the last movie, only a few species of dinosaurs managed to get into the real world, but in this there's so many dinosaur species all around the world, in different countries, in the ocean, way more than escaped the mansion in the last film. We're introduced to the fact that the secret reserve has aerial protection from flying dinosaurs, and yet we see flying dinosaurs in cities. Why wouldn't all places have this defense system? And characters just pop up all over the place in different locations. They'll be on one side of the park and then they'll appear somewhere else, and it happens multiple times. It just feels super weird because we've established that the characters were far away from each other, but when the plot wants it, they just appear out of nowhere. And my final criticism is a small one, but this movie ends in pretty much the same way as the first Jurassic World, in that we see the T-Rex losing its boss fight against a big bad dinosaur and until the raptors team up with the T-Rex to fight it. In this movie, we see the T-Rex losing its boss fight against a big bad dinosaur until old Creepy Fingers teams up with the T-Rex to fight it. Couldn't they think of a new original way to end this film? Now, it's not all bad. The cast are great, they're fun to watch, and it's great seeing the original cast return and interact with a new cast. That's all fun. I also like the family dynamic between Owen, Claire and Maisie. That was great to see, and it gave a bit of heart to the film. I also like that this movie focused less on genetically engineered dinosaurs like the past two. Dinosaurs are cool enough. We don't need weird hybrids, and so this movie ditched that focus. Unfortunately, they replaced that focus of genetically engineered dinosaurs with genetically engineered locusts. Of course, the CGI and animatronics are great. That goes without saying by now in a Jurassic Park or Jurassic World film. And the action here is really good. The movie blends the classic Jurassic Park horror element with the action expected from a Jurassic World movie. The tense horror-esque moments are effective, and the big action chase sequences here are great too. Some of these are really well shot. It honestly surprised me how good they were, and a lot of the enjoyment of the movie comes from the last half of the film, which is pretty much non-stop action, and most of it is really good. Overall, this movie had the opportunity to take the franchise in a new and interesting direction. Show us the impact of dinosaurs wandering around the real world. The sequel, the marketing and short films sold us on this premise, but instead they focused on clones with magic blood, giant locusts causing world famine, and keep us contained to another dinosaur park instead of in the open world where dinosaurs are roaming. If you go into this film, try to switch your brain off. Don't question why there's locusts or clones or why characters are doing certain things, and just try to enjoy the big, dumb, fun action and the reunion of the original cast. If you can do that, you will be entertained. And I won't lie, I was entertained and was rarely bored, but I did question what was happening and why. I try not to judge a movie on what I was expecting it to be, but the whole time I couldn't shake the feeling that this movie could have been more and somehow ruined a fantastic premise. I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know what you thought of Jurassic World Dominion in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, please like the video. It really helps the channel out, and be sure to subscribe because I release new videos every Friday. But for now, thanks so much for watching Cinemaze.